When talking about Canada's justice system, this following case for me demonstrates a case of injustice.
His freedom. A man who is known as Vince Lee changed his name to Will Baker. He lives on his own in a Winnipeg apartment, and now he lives without conditions. Jill McIshon reports.
For years, the mother of Tim McLean has been coming to the Manitoba law courts, watching as her son's killer moved from a locked psychiatric facility to a group home to his own apartment. She's been fighting for accountability. This week, she did again.
Never completely free, never.
Never came today. In a two-page written decision, the Manitoba Criminal Code Review Board said, the weight of evidence does not substantiate that Mr. Baker poses a significant threat to the safety of the public. Will Baker is discharged, absolutely. His treatment team calls Baker a model patient who has every intention of continuing his medication and psychiatric treatment, even though he is no longer under any obligation to do so.
He has a moral conscience, and he himself has expressed that he knows that he has a responsibility not only to himself but to the public.
The man Canada once knew as Vince Lee was in the throes of a psychotic episode when he heard the voice of God demand he kill the young man sitting with him on a Greyhound bus. Baker beheaded and cannibalized the 22-year-old McLean. He was found not criminally responsible for the killing. Now granted his freedom, Baker's lawyer told CTV News he's committed to doing everything he needs to do to continue to live a law-abiding life and stay healthy. But this medical ethicist questions the decision.
It should be conditional on careful supervision that he's taking his medication. That supervision should continue for life.
What if he goes off his medications? What if he stops seeing a psychiatrist? What is the recourse for the courts? And there isn't any.
In a statement, the federal justice minister said these decisions are made by provincial review boards. The case could be appealed, but Baker's lawyer told me tonight there's no indication that will happen.
So, for those of you not familiar with this case or who might have forgotten, the killing of Tim McLean occurred on the evening of July 30th, 2008. Is noted for being a beheading and a cannibalism death in Canada. McLean, a 22-year-old Canadian man, was stabbed, beheaded, and cannibalized while riding a Greyhound bus about 30 kilometers west of Portage-la Prairie, Manitoba, traveling the Trans-Canada Highway. On March 5, 2009, McLean's killer, 40-year-old Vincent Lee, born April 30th, 1968, now known as Will Baker, was found not to be criminally responsible for murder and was remanded to a high-security mental health facility in Selkirk, Manitoba, where he was detained until his release on March 8th, 2015. Like, I remember hearing about this killing myself, finding it quite disturbing, because it is disturbing that this man, the victim, Tim McLean, did absolutely nothing to provoke Vincent Lee, who now goes by the name Will Baker, was just sitting there minding his own business, falling asleep with his headphones on, only to end up getting stabbed to death and beheaded and cannibalized. This happened just in 2008, and our justice system is trying to tell us that this man has been rehabilitated and is suitable to be free in society, to go about his life and be unsupervised. To me, that's complete BS. This man should be in a mental health facility for the rest of his life. In my opinion, this man is not He's too high a risk. He killed someone 9 years ago, less than 9 years ago. And they're trying to say he's been rehabilitated and that he no longer poses a threat to public safety. I don't know. Like, I really question some of the decisions that our justice system here in Canada makes. I mean, I ride on Greyhound buses all the time. Many people do. Now, to be quite honest with you, I still continue to ride Greyhound buses to this day on a regular basis. I just took one last weekend, actually. I feel perfectly safe riding on Greyhound, and you should as well, too. I see this as being an isolated incident. Greyhound has taken measures to make their service safer since this occurred, such as the bus terminal in Winnipeg, Manitoba. What they do is they inspect your carry-on luggage before you get on the bus. They have everyone turn out their pockets, and they go over everyone with a metal detector. And they do this to everyone getting on the bus, not just random passengers, whenever you ride a Greyhound bus out of Winnipeg. As well as in Calgary and Vancouver, they do inspect your carry-on baggage before you get on the Greyhound bus. And I'm sure there's other Greyhound locations that do this as well, too. So I believe that Greyhound really has done their part to try and make their buses safer. But I mean, the Canadian justice system needs to do its part to make society safer. If someone is found guilty of murder, I tend to flip-flop back and forth on the death penalty. I personally believe that if someone is found guilty of murder through indisputable scientific evidence or indisputable video or picture evidence, and there's no doubt whatsoever about their guilt, I would have no problem with seeing that person executed. But at the very, very least, if they're found guilty of murder, at the very least, they should be kept in jail for life until the day they die, in maximum security. And someone who does commit a killing such as this, but is found not criminally responsible due to mental illness, should be kept in a mental health institution for the rest of their life until they die. I mean, this man might not be a criminal, due to mental illness, but society still needs to be protected from him. I'm going to be checking change.org over the next few days. If somebody else doesn't start a petition on this, I might very well decide to start a petition on this. You know, justice for Canadians. And I encourage all Canadians to contact their local MP, contact the Justice Minister, maybe even contact Prime Minister Justin Trudeau about improving our justice system. And to other people outside of Canada who are dissatisfied with aspects of their justice system, I also encourage you to contact your local politicians, your justice ministers, and your even your national leaders about changing that. I mean, Tim McLean's family receives no justice in this case as far as I'm concerned. His family fought hard every step of the way to try to keep Will Baker instituted long term. Unfortunately, they weren't successful as hard as they tried. And we just need to make our voices heard, and let our politicians know that we want to see changes to our justice system. This is not satisfactory at all.